at the state level right now. They've been working with us for the last 5 years or so, as we've moved the Look to Claremont program to a signature Look to Ohio program. And that leads us into an acronym that we have for it, which you're looking at right now. And LOOK does stand for Leadership Opportunities for Organizational Knowledge.
Where are you seeing anything? Is there anything on your screen or no? Nope.
Okay. Are we all able to see?
This is Katie Feldhuse, and I am not able to see the screen you're sharing.
All righty.
Okay.
Okay.
Leadership opportunities.
Can you see it now, Katie?
There it is.
I sure can. Thank you.
Okay. Sorry about that.
Great. Thank you for letting us know. So again, the key point in the LOOK program is really, I like to think of it as the opportunities piece. It is actually a series of opportunities for young people to practice leadership skills. And so that's kind of the focus of it. If we go to if I'm going to move on to the second page where we have our planning guide up here. You should be seeing the planning guide right now.
They are. We're getting a thumbs up from the
thumbs up. All right, great. Okay, leaders are everywhere, and so this is an opportunity for us to prepare leaders for the future. So we're preparing tomorrow's leaders for the future. All righty, and another piece that's really kind of important with this Look to Ohio program is that it's an opportunity with how extension is really transforming or moving forward to meet the needs of the community maybe in different ways. This particular program does involve or work with the family and consumer science educator, community development educator, the ag educator, and the 4-H educator working all together on one program. So that kind of is the movement we kind of think is happening with extension in Ohio. And we're working I wanted to highlight the actual program goals, make sure we are all aware of what this program is supposed to accomplish. We're going to identify and strengthen and provide a forum for eligible 11th and 12th grade high school students to learn, build, and practice their leadership skills. We're going to link local government, economics, agriculture, STEM, and healthy living to social issues and community action and daily life. We're going to provide experiential learning to meet the objectives of a leadership course, and it's in Communication Leadership 2194, and that particular course is within the Department of Agricultural Communication, Education, and Leadership at the university. We're going to develop, the young people are going to develop meaningful relationships between youth and adults to foster, and we want to make sure that they have some networking that they are involved in advance, and they're also advancing their workforce preparation skills. And we're going to, another huge program goal is we want to encourage talented and skilled young adults to remain in or return to Ohio as they embark on their future employment. This diagram that you see below that, the course has 3 components, and that's how we're going to divide up explaining it, or the program has 3 components. It has the leadership course, there's a service learning component in it, and then there's place-based education within it. And then the program actually comes together where those 3 circles converge. And that is really what LOOK is. Now Kelly's going to go on and explain the 3 components.
All right, so our first component is the leadership course, and we see that as really being the focus of our program. So the course that is offered is called Com Leader 2194, and we do offer that through the Academy. And so all of the students who participate in the Look to Ohio program are eligible to receive college credit upon admittance to the Academy. And they do receive 3 credit hours for completion of the course. So, 3 credit hours is a huge advantage coming out of high school. We then have the service learning component, and this is really taking the 4-H experiential model and incorporating the content knowledge of the course as well as critical thinking skills so we can address a community need. The way that we have started doing this, we used to do just one program. Excuse me. And so recently we've divided it up into 3 programs. So we start with a small project that is implemented in their schools. So they work with the other students in their school to implement a service learning project. They then work with a larger group of varied individuals throughout the county who are in the program to implement a community project. And then as the entire group, they implement a larger scale project. They are allocated a small budget to implement each of these service learning projects. And we call this service learning versus community service. I think so many times, especially in 4-H, we talk about community service, but upon Googling the term community service, one of the definitions that popped up was, basically doing assigned tasks in exchange, I guess, for going to prison. And we were like, oh no, that's not at all what we mean. So then when we started searching service learning, it very much aligned with what we were trying to accomplish. So by using the 4-H experiential model, there is that reflection piece at the end. So evaluating what worked, what didn't work, and how can we improve the next time. And then the third component is our place-based education. And so this is essentially, we have a different theme for each month, and Gigi's going to talk a little bit more about each of the theme days in a few minutes. But so the design for this is that we find different businesses and organizations throughout our county to partner with. So based on the theme, we will find a business who, for example, if we're talking about energy, we have a local business. They're called Malink, and so they do solar energy or alternative energy. So we may go there and visit and have guests join us to talk about that topic for the day. And that's really one of our strengths is having the students go out and see these different places in the community that they had no idea existed. They get to meet with business leaders and community leaders to kind of find out what's out there and what jobs are available to me and make those networking connections.
So we're going to skip down to actually page 5, which is part of the pre-planning guide. This is actually more so the meat of each individual day and who can actually be involved. So we want to work with promoting youth leadership and leadership theories, principles, concepts, do science-based, and structuring this into a community-based setting also, while implementing it into their school system and allowing them to receive college credit while completing the program. Those that are eligible, basically anybody that's a junior or senior in high school, regardless of what type of education system they're in. So we're taking everybody from career centers to homeschools to comprehensive schools. So a wide variety pack this can be offered to. Of course, with homeschools, there is a unique system that you have to work with because they still do have to work with a homeschool to be able to receive the College Credit Plus. What we're talking about is the Com Leadership 2194, and this is getting them the College Credit Plus through the Ohio State University Academy. That is where they not only apply with an application to be involved within the program at the local county level, but they actually have to do registration on campus. So it's not just sign your name, your mom and dad sign their name. they actually have to go through the website and provide their ACT score and some other items through their guidance counselor and apply to be part of the university. Then we talk about the program. When do we offer it? We do once a month from the entire school year, August through April, and our time frame is 8 to 2 p.m. Most schools are letting out at 2 o'clock, so we found early on that the challenge of dealing with athletics after school or other extracurricular items. So 2 o'clock seems to be the magic hour to release the students to go back home or go back to their items. That is also transportation. Some schools transport them, and otherwise they are driving on their own. Where do we host it? As Kelly mentioned, we do host these items at different local businesses, parks, landmarks, historical areas, government agencies, all across the county. And how do we do this? Which is through a series of online coursework. So they do have an e-learning item that they do each month. So they have to submit something through Canvas. And then they also have a place-based item, which depends on where we are at. As you see, the different theme days that are located down there below. And they also have some hands-on activities with us within the classroom setting portion of it to go through the learning strategies and leadership styles for the day. And you'll notice that we have 10 different items listed here. The first one with call to action and real colors is that they're actually coming in with their parent. At least one parent or guardian we asked to attend and go through the real colors training, so that the parent or guardian also, not only are they learning what their color is, but also their child, and then also learning what the program is through the orientation process. The next one is where the kids actually get involved in team building. So we have in the past gone to a local church camp to do, it might be rock climbing, it might be high ropes, just what is available depending on the weather, because sometimes the activities you do are weather dependent if they are going to be out in the woods and up in the, climbing items that can be accomplished too with high initiatives and low initiatives. The county and history agriculture tour, we kind of divide the county into kind of weird north and south. So one year we have a north tour and we visit different historical items located in the northern part of the county, which is also seems to be more agronomic and grain crops, and those items also with agritourism. So we visit different locations and that meets. And whereas the southern part of the county, being closer to the river, is very historical because of the Underground Railroad and different items that occurred on the river as the basis of the means to start the county. And then we hit different agricultural businesses that are located down there also. So we kind of divide that day up year by year. And we sometimes have a local historian travel with us to do that history aspect, so it's not me standing up and giving Claremont County history. I'll stick with talking to them about the different agricultural aspects as we travel around in a bus. And Civic Engagement Day is working with the government offices, talking about public office, working with we have in the past worked at the county commissioner's office. And then we go to education, which happens to be our topic for in 2 weeks. We'll be going to UC East and working on career development and what are the different colleges that are out there, different options that they have. So they'll be going through a career readiness activity, and also how much does college actually cost, and going that also. And you kind of get the idea as we go through. The last day, you figure out that we pick out the different activities. Businesses, we've been to the jail, so we've taken them to the courthouse. Then it happened to be that we were at the sheriff's office, and one day the sheriff walked through and said, "Hey, do you want to go in here and take a tour?" So they got to go tour the jail, which was, we don't always get that opportunity, but that year it was available. So the last one is called a leadership and commencement. We do have a graduation for them, and they are also part of putting together a leadership activity day to not only bring in themselves but also peers from around the county to showcase what is going on. And last year they had a keynote speaker that came in and give a presentation, and we actually did real colors that day too, because it was a different set of youth. So the curriculum, as we mentioned, is broke up into 10 monthly school day classes, August through April. And I've already talked about that the parents attend and we go to the local businesses. Within the curriculum, what it includes is a marketing and recruiting resource. And the main thing is that with marketing and recruiting, the very first thing you want them to do is to get enrolled in the Ohio Academy. That's through the university. And then we use the 4-H enrollment and health history form. That's basically just for local office use. We just want to have information in regards in case we need to contact someone if something was to occur, to know if anybody has allergies and so on down the line. We do have to prepare our meals, so we do want to know if there's any health issues we need to know about. Then we have a student parent call to action orientation packet, which talks about the syllabus for Com Leader 2194. And then our lesson plans, which are the theme days, planning guide, the e-learning, and the service learning project template. And Trevor is going to go into more of these items when he talks about the impacts and resources.
All right, so some of the impacts from the Look to Ohio program, specifically Look to Claremont. In 6 years, we graduated 120 students. So as you can see, approximately 20 to 25 per year. And then from that, for my non-thesis project for my master's, actually did a study with these graduates, looking at the connections that they made while they were in the program, as well as how that has affected their leadership skills long term. So we saw that the program has potential for higher education, for recruitment tools, so maybe towards the university or as a recruitment tool towards employers. And some students did note their lasting connections there. Also, a majority of the students that were in the program, of those 120, we found that 80% were planning to return to the county or were currently living and working in the county. You can see a couple of the testimonials there. So I wasn't sure what I wanted to do while I was in the program. And then after that, I saw a couple new choices to explore. And then the other one there gave me leadership and interpersonal skills that I needed to pursue a career with the intention to evolve into a leader within my professional field. From the leadership courses, I found my strength and aligned them with career interests. So students are actually able to utilize those leadership skills that they develop within the program. From that, we invite these graduates back to actually network and meet with current students in the program so they're able to talk about their personal experiences. And then finally, evidence supports that OSU Extension Claremont County was recognized by county government officials and business leaders as a valuable community resource that makes a local difference. So in 2015, the Claremont County Chamber of Commerce Foundation recognized the program for its educational impact as Career Prep Program of the Year. All right, so from that, we'll look at some of the resources that are attached in the pre-planning guide. So first off, you have a flyer, and it's a front and back 2-page flyer. So you could use something similar to this in your county. Of course, using these pictures or similar pictures as you develop those, as you implement your program. And then from that, on the backside is really where students can learn a good bit about the program. So what is their eligibility? So living in the county, being a junior and senior in high school. different things like the college credit is oftentimes a question to them. So three college credits through the OSU Academy. And then seeing the graduation requirements, so that they're going to complete the course material and work in their service learning projects. They get a better understanding of the Look to Ohio program through the flyer, then see the theme days, some of the things they can be involved in. And from this, we use this flyer in their high schools so they can contact their school counselor, which will then give us a list of names which would be interested in the program. So next you have what we call a theme day planning guide. And one thing I want to definitely make note of, so we use this as a template to guide the day, but you can see that we incorporate all three components, so the service learning, the leadership course, and the place-based education. So for this particular day, for Roadmap to the Future, which is also known as Education Day, we were at UC Claremont College, so that was our place, and we were looking at education that particular day. And then we had the teaching, which was the leadership course, and then our service learning component, which we also spent time on there. So we have these planning sheets for each theme day, and that can help guide you through setting up potential places you might visit in your county, and also how you might structure your Look to Ohio program. As we mentioned, this also includes the pre-assignments and helps guide you through the aspects of the leadership course. So next we have the service learning project planning sheet. As Kelly mentioned, currently students work through a series of 3 service learning projects through the inside the box concepts. So here is a service learning project planning guide that Kelly and Margaret created to work through that project with the students. And finally, that should bring us to the Com Leader 2194 syllabus. So you have fall and spring, I do believe. Margaret, would you like to touch on this?
You're going to have some duplicate pages. So there's our fall of 17, and we're calling it part 1. The required, there is a text involved in it, and it's the 7 habits of highly effective people. And that is the text, and then the students do have that, we provide them with that text. When it says the packet, which includes real colors, there's like, we've got sheets that have been developed for each of the theme days, you know, I hate to use the word worksheets, but items that help facilitate the learning or the objectives for that particular day. So we call that the course packet. Another piece that's in it is that we do is embedded in it. The students are learning a lot about themselves. And so Strengths Quest is something that is used. So they do take that online Strengths Quest. Probably many of you have done that also. And they come up with their 5 strengths, so they're learning about themselves. Now remember earlier on you heard about real colors. And so the real colors is a temperament tool, whereas Strengths Quest is again, you're identifying your strengths piece. All of these interface extremely well with the 7 habits of highly effective people, each of those 7 habits. So it's woven together quite well. We do have a blog page, a course blog page. We use a u.osu.edu. We use that. I think we started last year. Trevor was here, and Trevor was very instrumental in getting the technological part of this class up to speed, and thanking him publicly for that. But that particular blog page, and I think we have it in here, and we can, I don't know if we want to look at it now or later, we can look at it later. A supplement, or Gigi just popped it up if you want to see it. Pop it up there, Gigi. Okay, So this is
They're not seeing
you're not seeing it?
No.
Oh, they don't see it. Okay, we'll get it to you a different, we'll look at it a different way. Alrighty, but there is a blog page that we work with. Supplemental reading is Norhaus Introduction to Leadership, Concepts and Practice. As this, the 2194 course is worked off of a 3530 COM leadership course that was in place earlier on when we were first began piloting, trying to put together a CCP program. And so we still use that as a supplemental reading to help guide us. And we'll see in a little while when we scroll through further, or you already looked at that. Okay, so the instructors are here. Now, course description, course objectives. I want to highlight number 9 on the course objectives. Utilize a variety of technologies. This is something over the last 5 years has really been developed within the Look program. We've infused it with technologies because we're trying to get individuals ready for the workforce of the future. And so I thank the other members of my team who are help get that up on board, because that's really important to have in place. Okay, you're going to see some policies, course policies. These are, you know, kind of university items, and they're going to go through there. Okay, now let's look at this particular piece. This is kind of the nuts and bolts of the fall semester. You'll see there's a time frame and meeting date, and so those are the theme days, the first column. Concepts are what we're building off of, and that actually are the items that come out of the 7 Habits book. So that comes from the 7 Habits. The course topics come together from, are in there because of the 7 Habits contact, as well as the Norhaus resource book. And so, as well as infusing into it the service learning piece, which is actually community service taken. When you insert community service into an academic course, it becomes service learning, as Kelly had said. And then you'll also see when assignments are due that are graded assignments. The text readings and blended e-learning are items that we put together that individuals see for the flipped classroom concept. So they have their readings from the book, which is 1 to 15, or those pages are giving you the reading assignments, and then the blended learning is a topics there, and then we have one of those developed for each of the theme days. So you see that in place. So that kind of brings everything together. Again, some more pieces about the course and student rights and things that need to be in a syllabus, all right? Grading scale, the university grading scale just needs to be put in there. Here are the course requirements for first semester with the points assigned to it. And so there you see there's a leader shadowing planning assignment, personal leadership philosophy piece, the service learning project, micro project. There's 2 projects in first semester. The micro project is inside the box with their due dates. The blended e-learnings, which come across on the u.osud site. Theme engagement, that's for students being actively involved in the day, because we want to really encourage that. And so all assignments completed and loaded up via the Canvas site. So those are course requirements. And now you're going to see the assignments with the rubrics and the explanation of each assignment. So the personal leadership philosophy, this particular assignment, they started on it. They kind of are the way we've organized it, the theme days, they're building, whereas they might get something the first day. You'll see in here, I think, is the colors in this one or not? No. Describe and define the concept of leadership. They actually, on the orientation day, they actually did some work about leadership and defining it. And so they're putting together a project to demonstrate their learning. In this particular assignment, they did a Ignite talk with it. We gave them, what, 3 minutes? 3 minutes to present this, and they put together a Ignite presentation to share their leadership philosophy at the class in December. There's the theme day engagement there also, and the rubrics for that, as well as the leader shadow planning process. So they started planning their leader shadow experience during the first semester, and then they'll complete it and have the report will be due second semester. So there's the rubric for that one, and you can see how the assignments build. They're infused in it with the definition of leadership in real colors, and leadership case study. This is actually, the report wasn't due until second semester, but I wanted the rubric is in there for them to see from first semester, so so it helps them in understanding how it flows to second semester. The blended learning, the service learning project rubrics, they're all in here. Okay, then the spring semester, the same, you're going to see some same things, so let's scroll past. Some of this is exactly the same, but then let's get to the theme. Here's the theme days, January through April. Again, the same process with the dates, the different concepts that come across, and then the course topics that get addressed, and then the e-learning and the pages that the students work through. Some of this is the same again. And then I put, again, we consider the leader shadowing piece to be a really, it spans the 2 semesters. So there's information in the syllabus for first semester and second semester. So those are the same. And then we've got the blended learnings again, so it's very consistent. But as Kelly was speaking about the large service learning project, we call it the creative project, creative confidence, and that's the specific rubric for that. That's the large team where Gigi talked to you about that. They did a leadership day for the other students in the community. And then the very last assignment is really a personal development plan. So they're actually putting together a portfolio of all their learning, and then they're got the philosophy in there again. They're bringing their strengths back in and their real colors. There's a how do I balance my life, wheel of life balance. They come up with a kind of a crest about themselves in that one, and then they actually do SMART goals for decisions you make in life. So that's the course syllabus. So I think you've got all the pieces that are in the planning guide. Now I think we're ready for, what questions do you have?
Okay, so we're ready for question and answer time. Funding.
Well, funding. You want to address that one?
Funding is of local source. So right now we are, the service learning projects are funded through UC Claremont, but it might be funding through a local program in regards to an organization or a sponsor, a grant that you might write. So yes, funding is something that you do have to get figured out. And that would go along with the other question is, what is the budget? Our budget depends on which activity we're doing. So the budget for the history and agriculture day is a lot more than what it is on a normal day, because we are running a bus. And so then we have to plan in meals for each one of the dates, because you do have to provide lunch for them. And then also we usually have some sort of breakfast snack. It's just granola bars and water, things like that. So we don't provide anything fancy for them in regards to that time. But each day is different. So we average roughly $300
A
for
day.
lunch, is what each one of the monthly themes cost, except for the ag day, because it does cost more, because you're getting a tour bus or a school bus or whatever you might be able to have access to. We don't have spring semester section in the form sent. Okay, Melinda, I'll get that to you. So about $4,000 per year.
4,000 per year. Yeah, on the lean side, 4,000 per year. Again, remember what we've been working with this for about 5 years. And so, like, let's say Government Day. The League of Women Voters sponsor that day for us. And so we have a $500 commitment from them for that day. And then it depends on the business you're with. Many times they'll sponsor that day. And so a sponsorship of a day, 500 covers a sponsorship of a day. And it works well for that piece. So with your partnerships that you have, you kind of capitalize on those to help fund the program. You want to do it?
It doesn't matter.
Okay.
As I say, currently, so according to CCP, we were required to provide the text. So the way that we do it, I don't know if you guys can see, we have a little property of label, and we actually number each book. So at the beginning, excuse me, the beginning of the program, we issue a book, have them sign, and then they return the book to us. So it's not a cost that we have to invest in every year. So we've been able to use these for a couple of years. Assuming that your text isn't changing, you're able to do that and kind of recycle the text.
You can ask the questions. You don't have to type them on the chat.
Yes, talk to us.
Talk to us.
Put yourself off mute.
Something's funny in the Greene County office.
So we were just talking about the admission process
Okay. Okay.
and what that looks like. Margaret, do you want to?
You want me to talk about that?
for
All
that
right.
matter?
Okay. The actual admission to the university. What we're asking students to be recommended from the different school district, however you want to do it, be recommended the program. They do need to get admitted to the university. What we're still working on the piece between admission to the academy versus admission to a regional campus or ATI. Okay, because there might be a different score for the ACT involved there. The Ohio Academy has a higher admission than the, I believe, ATI. They'll take an 18 ACT. I was hoping Tracy Kitchell would be on this call today. I don't know if he's in there. Tracy, if you're in there, chime in. But he and I have been working through that piece. This is something, I have to say this, and I'm going to say it here, is with this being a signature program, being designated a signature program, I'm hoping that we can streamline the admission process to the university as we move forward. We will be presenting at this program at the Outreach and Engagement Conference, and I believe that it would be very, very helpful if other entities on campus would get involved in streamlining the admission process to the university for CCP, for possibly through ATI. So does that, Trevor, does that help with that? Is that what you were thinking people had questions about? What it is right now, if you would go and to the website for OSU and then type in Ohio Academy, you're going to pop up and see what is listed in there for admission. Each student, a prospective student, needs to go in there and asked to be admitted to the university. They do have to take a standardized test. This kind of CCP process has changed or has evolved in the last 4 years, and the state it's at right now is requiring an ACT score. And some of you are probably aware that the CCP program can actually take students in from the 8th grade. So you can see that this is a evolving process. And so I think that this particular program, we're pushing the edge with it. I believe we are pushing the edge with it for admission to the university. So Trevor, is that what we're thinking? Or if you others have other questions, I'm not reading the chat. What's going on in the chat here?
So Melinda had asking about charging a small fee to the kids, but since they are receiving College Credit Plus, there are tuition and fees that go to the university. And since they're getting tuition and fees through the College Credit Plus, which is through their high school, ODE also, however that works, through the funding sources, you can't provide, you can't charge them fees.
Nope, can't charge them fees.
So unfortunately, yes, the university is making money off of each one of these students, but nothing is coming as a kickback to the Claremont County office or, say, to your local county office in regards to tuition and fees being moved around that way.
But it is filtering into CFIS.
Yeah, it does go to the college.
It does go to our college.
So Margaret, just to expand upon your CCP and admission a little bit, I guess the best way to go for someone wanting to start this is to just know that we have some things to iron out with the CCP process and getting students admitted for the program. You might be able to work through getting the program started the first year and might not offer college credit, or definitely make sure the students that you're working with are getting the ACT taken and working through the admission process first before you get a whole group. Then they're kind of upset that they're not getting credit.
And again, remember how I talked about opportunities before? This is one of those that I kind of like to turn into an opportunity for acquiring knowledge, and this is, so we're treating this admission process to the university as an opportunity for them to get some practice on getting admitted to a university. It's not easy to do that. We've learned that, haven't we, Trevor, as we've worked through it for the last couple of years. But again, to me, it's a kind of a selling point for the program, because again, it's a series of opportunities, and this is one of them, to be able to interface electronically and use the technology to get yourself admitted and put yourself in your best light. In essence, kind of selling yourself to somebody else. Anyway, marketing yourself, I guess, is a better word. Sorry, it should be marketing.
Okay, is Common Leader class an Ohio transfer module?
Are you saying would it be accepted at other universities? Is that the question? Would it be accepted at other universities? Yes, it's one of those. Now remember, it's not English, and it's not social studies, and it's not calculus. So it would be a leadership, and so that's and again, some of these we used to use that term soft skills, but I don't even think they're soft anymore. They're kind of like required skills. To be able to work with other people and be a team player, understand communities and service learning. So I think this is definitely is a piece that does transfer to other universities. That the CCP classes have to do that. That's part of the requirements.
Are there any other questions? Well, kind of our plan for the next step is to meet on January 17th again. And we're going to try and actually break down each one of these different areas. So the next topic would be recruitment and enrollment, getting them recruited and also getting enrolled into not only your local county program, but also how do you go about getting them enrolled into the Ohio Academy. As Margaret mentioned, it's a little more challenging than we anticipated. So we want to take those items into more detail and not stretch the rest of today out any further. There's no other questions.
I was going to.
This will be a session at the Community Engagement Conference. Will there be time as part of that session for discussion, question, and answer? Of course there will be.
Of course, we know that needs to be done. That's why we orchestrated this one the way we did to try to have as much time for questioning as possible. We give you an overview and then details regarding it. If those of you that are interested in moving forward, I give you a little bit of work to do to get ready. My suggestion would be, I think there's some pages in this planning guide that we put in there, some things that you could do to start your marketing and recruitment. I hope those of you that are interested have contacted your educational service centers, possibly contacted your schools. This planning guide has evolved, so please don't use the first one that you have. We were even tweaking it again today before we presented to you. So we will get the planning guide in there cleaner, or you'll get the most up-to-date one loaded in there so that you'll have that to use. Also, if I were you, I would take that sheet, the Innovative Leadership Sheet, this particular one. Use our pictures that we already have, unless you have some wonderful pictures from your county, and keep these in place. And I would go ahead on the back page, you could change the theme days if you felt like you wanted to adjust to your county's needs to present that. And that red spot that has I would change this to be more with your county, to sell your county, and maybe some success stories you can pull from individuals in your office. So that's what I would do. Can you think of something else they all need to do between now and talk with your guidance counselors, get them sold on, get them interested in it?
That's my suggestion. Really just go and meet with the guidance counselors. I think that we had our most success in getting students recruited by just going and meeting with the guidance counselors. And I know that's time away, and I know that's another meeting on your calendar, but it was really beneficial as far as our recruitment. So take that flyer, start talking it up, and get them interested.
Something I have to check into. Okay.
Okay. If not, we will see you on January 17th.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.